I wanted to say that yesterday afternoon, before the training started that evening, there was a real big period of doubt where I was really down, and I thought, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And the feeling just kept returning to me, this huge block around being able to talk in a real way, in a fundamental way, in a significant way, and try to draw out with the teachers their real desires and the reason why they're teaching, and to get at the difficulties that they have in maintaining that clarity around that drive and that need to teach and to be a teacher and to have an impact and the love that they have. You know, that gets drowned in the day-to-day grind of being a teacher. And so I had this huge physical doubt that was manifesting as anxiety and fear around even trying that with the teachers. And it got to a point during the day, and this happens to me, I realize this happens to me while I'm at work, sitting at my desk. There's a feeling there that's either there, or it's something that I've just become routinely, or it's my routine at work to move into this state where I'm not expecting anything, and there's a feeling of can't. And it really seeps in when I'm just checking emails and working through things, and it's hard to get work done and to maintain a feeling that's me moving outward rather than the world moving inward on me. Well, I was at this low point, and I just felt like I can't, and it was a feeling that kept returning, and not kept returning, I mean, it settled in, and I was trying to find a way to break out of it, and I went back to my workout yesterday morning. The goal of the workout was to reach that wall where I start feeling that can't, and it manifests as nausea and a mental weakness when I'm really exerted working out. And so my goal was to reach that limit during my workout yesterday, and to then cross that limit. And I did that in my workout. Felt myself doing it, and I pushed myself, and I kept myself in that state on the last 1/3 or 1/2 of my workout yesterday. It was a great workout. And that feeling left a mark on me, and I was able to tap into that feeling. And what it is I won't be stopped. I cannot be stopped. I am the guy that gets to the edge, that gets to the limit, that gets to the marker, whatever's being raised, that flag. I come up to that wall and I walk through it. That's me. That's what I do, and that's what I want to do over and over and over. And that's what I'm on my way to do at the gym this morning. And I was able to tap into that yesterday afternoon when I was at that low point. And what I did is just flipped on some music and started listening to my son's playlist. Actually, I just grabbed a playlist and started listening to it, and got in my truck, and then I just started singing along to the songs. And at first I felt stupid sitting there at the stoplight. I was driving over to the location, and I felt dumb sitting there at the stoplight starting to sing whatever it was on. I think there was some Journey, and it ranged from 70s all the way to last week, the recency of the song. So, I mean, it was a bit of everything, and I just started singing and feeling it. I let myself feel that feeling, and it was there again when I was sitting at the stoplight, that this is dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, this is stupid. How embarrassing was the feeling as I was sitting there. But I just pushed against it, and I pushed past it, and I started singing like loud in my truck. I was just belting it out, and I can't really carry a tune. I just signed up for voice lessons because I want to be able to control my voice better, not just for singing but for speaking. And so here I was at the stoplight, just singing with everything that I had, and driving down the street singing with everything that I had, and my stereo's just blasting, and I'm just feeling, and I'm just singing. And it was awesome. It was so awesome. And it just took me, it was that little push, it was that decision that I don't care, it's not even about what it's about. It's me feeling myself being limited, being stopped by what I've always felt, you can't, and pushing right past that and feeling myself decide to live on the other side of that. And I felt myself expand, and that's what made it possible. That's where I was able to go into that training last night and talk directly with the teachers and to speak about things that were atypical for that kind of a meaning, but which were also very meaningful. And just meaningful at all, I don't know if very is the right descriptor for meaningful, but it was meaningful, it was true, it was real, and it made their experience real and meaningful, and not just a sit and get, not just a compliance thing. And that's what's needed. I mean, in my area of work right now professionally, which is to help teachers become better than they are, that's what's needed. I'll just offer a comment or two on that right now. Is too many band-aids. Too often the approach is to band-aid it, to say, well, let's talk about this one particular thing that goes on in the classroom and how we can strategize about addressing that particular thing. For example, what do you do when there are distractions in the classroom? How do you handle those? Or what do you do when it feels like the lesson is falling flat? What are some strategies for that? And the strategies are great. They're great, and they can really change the situation. But what they don't change is the teacher. And the teacher is left being required to strategize over and over and over for these particular instances that keep popping up. And they're left with no tools and no understanding for why they're being drained by those repeated experiences, and why they're finding it more and more difficult to be fulfilled in their job. And there are peaks of here and there, and there are moments of light, but it's so easy to become drowned in the day-to-day of teaching and become discouraged, or to fall into a complacency routine, because that's the only way to find certainty, and the only way to, the fulfillment is gone, and the significance is minimized down to significance in terms of completing a chapter and getting the info to the students, and focusing on some other not so important things with the students, like did they learn all the vocabulary words? That's not changing a student. That's not impacting their life. They're going to forget those words. They're going to forget them as soon as they don't need them anymore. And but that's how the focus of the teacher begins to turn. And I believe it's because their focus has gone away from those things that brought them into the profession, which are, I want to make a difference in the world. I love children. I've always wanted and known that I wanted to do this. It's part of me, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and I love meeting this challenge creatively. It's a new challenge every day, and I'm creative about how I address it, and that fulfills me, and I feel myself growing. That's why they came to the profession. And if you don't address those basic fundamental pulls and needs that they have, and what brought them there in a really real way, and do it regularly, and give them and help them develop the tools to do that themselves, the insight and the will and the clarity and the understanding that returning to those things is what is going to make them better and give them that sense of fulfillment. If that's not part of what we give to a teacher, then they're going to go through that experience where they lose steam, they lose momentum, they move toward burnout. And a lot of teachers are, I think the technical definition of burnout includes the departing the classroom, leaving the classroom. But you know what? So many teachers, they experience, quote, burnout. And it's just a loss of that fulfillment. That's what it is. Burnout is a loss of fulfillment, that sense of fulfillment, the sense of growing and making a difference in the world, and the love for what they're doing. That's lost on so many teachers, and yet they don't leave the classroom. They stay in the classroom. And what do we call those teachers? Inadequate. We call them bad teachers. I mean, there are technical words for it, like in the profession. They're escaping me right now, but there's a word that's used for those teachers by teacher administration training programs, and and that's why they reach that point. And no amount of techniques and no amount of motivational talk is going to change it for them. It has to come back to why they're there in the classroom and what it means to them in their life, and how their life is changing as a result of those difficult situations that come up all the time as a teacher, and helping them see those as opportunities to grow. Well, I went on a little longer than I expected, but I'm going to have a great workout today. Today's an interval training day. It's the first day I've done one of these, and what I'm pushing for today, what I'm going to do when I go into the gym is push myself in my cardio training, and I'm going to work some arms too and some abs, and the goal is to push past my limits, and that's exciting for me. I feel this momentum and energy rising inside me, but there's some fear there. There's a lot of fear there, real fear, because I'm afraid of what that feels like. I'm afraid I'm gonna, get into my third sprint, and I'm just gonna have this wall to keep going. But I'm trying to be real about that. So I'll report back on that. Have a great one.